Why do Republicans want to drill, baby, drill? Well, stick around to find out.
What are you going to do about bringing down the rent and things like that in the economy? Because out of 8 children that I'm a father and a stepfather to, 5 of them are struggling, and I'm giving them part of my income on a regular basis.
We are going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring down the cost of energy. Energy is what caused the worst inflation, I think, in the history of our country. Food prices are up 50%, sometimes more. You look at bacon. Bacon is quadrupled. You can't order bacon. You can't order anything. We're living horribly.
You have to watch the full video of that where it's, Trump supporter from, a rural area, basically saying, we need rent caps, like rent is going up and there's crazy rent increases, so on. And that was Trump's response. It was like, we're going to drill more and that's going to bring down the price of bacon. That's his response to a legitimate question from MAGA about rent caps, which I felt for, that was a real question. From a real, voter who, has real concerns that, beyond, trans people and immigrants, right? But of course, we can't forget where that original phrase came from.
We're talking about our very existence. So no, we're not going to chill. In fact, it's time to drill, baby, drill down and hold these folks accountable.
And as you can imagine, it caught on fast from Palin.
Drill, baby, drill. This is the kind of change. Hey, you guys were ready to break out. Woo! This and a lot more is the kind of change that will create growth, jobs.
But do these people actually know how oil works?
When Trump was in House, we had cheap gas. We had our own people making gas, and Joe Biden closed that pipeline down the first day he signed it, all those thousands of people losing their jobs. I just think it's going to be...
Yeah, we are today drilling more oil, domestic oil, than we ever have in the history of the country.
I don't think so.
No, we are. That's what they...
Where are they drilling at?
Throughout the country, offshore, Alaska. That's a fact. I'm not making that.
No, I know that. But what about, our own country, though? We were doing it in our own country, making our own gas here. We didn't have to go to another country. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, Alaska is a foreign country. So when people say drill, baby, drill, they mean this.
What would you like to see him do when he gets into office on the very first day?
Make the gas prices cheaper.
Do you think the president can do that?
Yeah, it's Donald Trump.
The price of gas is going down now. Are you crediting President Biden with that?
I'm not sure who I'm crediting. I haven't been looking into that recently.
So there is this myth that oil and gas bring jobs to rural areas, Appalachia, and places outside of major cities. Let's be honest. We've lost our manufacturing base, and there are people, I've met them at MAGA rallies. They work. They work at oil refineries and such. These are working people, and they look at all this climate stuff as a threat to their livelihood, and that's fine, right? This is your livelihood. You're holding on. You can, and you don't want to see that taken away from you. Fine. However, the fact is, at the end of the day, when they have these huge drilling projects, they don't bring in a lot of jobs. The Willow Project. Look at the Willow Project. The permanent jobs that would have created 600, maybe 800 permanent jobs. The rest would have just been seasonal. Or maybe a few thousand people working, 8 to 12 months. That's it. Okay? Sure, that's going to bring stuff to but the amount of, the Willow Project, that would have just done, it's like irreparable damage to, our CO2 level and, a lot. And all for what? 600 to 800 permanent jobs. And that's the Willow Project. That's a big project. So there's this thing being pushed by oil and gas of, that there's going to be, more jobs for everyone if Biden would just let us drill more. And that has caught fire. That's not just a little fringe thing. I've been to MAGA rallies in New York City where they've talked about that, where they're saying, there's all these guys that without jobs and, we can put them to work tomorrow if we were just drilling every orifice that New York State had. So this is like big blue New York State that this is being talked about. And, imagine the rest of the country. Oil and gas has done an amazing job of convincing the general public that Joe Biden has not drilled enough. He has signed more drilling permits than any president. I mean, we are drilling more than we've ever drilled. It's staggering. I don't like that. And my constant arguments with MAGA are, listen, I don't like this. I don't understand why you don't like this. It's weird, bro. Like, it hurts my brain every time they talk about Joe Biden not drilling enough, because the facts are laid out very clearly. Like, I've actually had one argument with someone recently where they were like, yeah, he's drilling a lot, but it's still not enough, because he's actually had some discretion where he didn't want to go into wetlands. Wetlands, those things that we need to prevent erosion, and we need them for clean water and carbon capture. So many reasons, but wetlands. Project 2025, by the way, definitely it's like about that life, going through wetlands and being like, what's a wetland? That's getting rid of the Chevron doctrine. It's like, what's a wetland anyway? This isn't a wetland. So yes, the drill baby drill line works in rural areas. It works in swing states. It works in places, beleaguered by the loss of manufacturing, and brings this hope to these people that work in these drilling sites, and goes like, oh, well, there'll be more work for that. Like, cool, because most of those places, those jobs are seasonal. They end after a few months to a year, and then it leaves them needing to go back and find new work somewhere else. So these, for a lot of those people, a lot of those voters, they're like, oh, like, about it, like coal, gas, and amazing job, oil and gas, in convincing everyone that it's cleaner. Y'all did the long tailpipe theory. Y'all created the longest tailpipe for EV that I have just ever seen. To listen to MAGA explain the long tailpipe theory, that tailpipe is just millions of miles long. So A+ on disinformation.